So here we are at Pen Rhyn Castle in North Wales, and I'm just videoing this because it's a beautiful microclimate. Over to the left you've got the lovely variegated myrtle, Pittosporum, this lovely variegated myrtle. You've got some hydrangeas just down in front of it, and more Pittosporum, and you can see underneath there is some salmisias as well. And this beautiful New Zealand plant, which likes a nice tender sort of microclimate. And at the back we have the lovely strawberry tree, Arbutus unido, and just in front of it in the foreground we've got some lovely chamaerops, this lovely little fern. So it's just a really good example of a microclimate and how to take advantage of a nice southwesterly sort of aspect, and you can grow all sorts of plants in that area. This is the walled garden. I've not seen this particular part before, but it looks quite interesting. So you can see it's got a beautiful gate, a lovely little segmental arch above it, and a lovely Nigra just climbing over the top there. So let's go and take a look inside. So as you enter into the walled garden, you can see this lovely Trachycarpus fortunei palm in front of you straight away, which looks great. And then over to the left we can see we've got the lovely Pyrrhus, and moving across there you can see there's a lovely Aesculus there just coming into flower. Nice border with stachys and red roses, and then looking out you can see there's a buddleia and a Photinia in the background. So we've got this lovely little border to the right, and you can see that we've got the wire netting bush, Carokia cotoneaster, and then dropping down there's a nice potentilla, and there we've got the lovely Indigothera, that relation of the pea family, and there's some Veronicastrums just sitting in behind that, a lovely Vitus. And then as we look over to the left I can see we've got some Euphorbia, kind of mellifera, the honey Euphorbia, just over to the left hand side, but it makes a beautiful border. So we've got this lovely little formal lily pool just as you come in, and nice little balance there of water lilies to water, not overpowering, so that looks good. And then we'll just go over to have a look at that sort of little peristyled area over to the right. So we come into another sort of part of the terrace where there is a whole arc of Rosmarinus officinalis, rosemary, swinging round. We have this incredible quattrophile, and you can see there with a little fountain. And then just over to the right you can see we've got these lovely 4 pillars with a little blocky frieze above them. So just to the left of the pillars we have Phlomis. At the base there you've got a Carpenteria californica, and then you've got this lovely wisteria right across the back, and that terminates in a beautiful magnolia, grandiflora, the Evergreen Magnolia. Just to the left of the Evergreen Magnolia I can see we've got some Acanthus mollis, beautiful bear's breeches there, and then we've got a lovely glaucous buddleia with potentilla, and then salvias in the background. There's a hypericum, and there is also a strawberry tree just to the left hand side. And so this area terminates in a beautiful Trachycarpus fortunei, beautiful wiry bark there, look at it, looks great. And we've also got 1 or 2 other interesting plants. There's a lovely Ceanothus to the right, and there's a Pittosporum just at the back. Just to the left of the Pittosporum we've got the lovely Carangashoma palmata. Look at that lovely architectural leaf on it, looks absolutely fab. And then there's some Abutilons which are just there, which are going to climb up that wall, which will look really good. And we've got here what looks like Omphalopsis megalophylla, Hydrangenoides, something like that. Quite unusual. Down the steps into the wall garden you can see we're greeted by a Crinodendrum Hookarianum, this lovely Chinese lantern tree. I don't know whether you can see the lanterns there. They look really beautiful row of innulas. Look how good they look along that back wall. Then we have this Drimys winteri. Look at those long sort of branches arching down. It's quite an interesting plant this is, and very tender. Just walking down, there's some beautiful trees in this area. I mean, there's lots of camellias, but then you come across this incredible Davidian volucrata with its, you can see the sort of bark just breaking up on it. And then over to my left here, we've got the Morris Nigra, the mulberry. And you can see with these lovely sort of leaves, and you can see a bit of the fruit there. And so that's a lovely tree there. And just looking over to the left here, we've got some other interesting trees as we look across there. So it looks like there's a Hoeria, H-O-H-E-R-I-A, with it flowering, and beautiful tree across there. See a beautiful Sciadopitys verticillata. What a beautiful tree that is, with those lovely sort of umbrella type needles, and then lovely Acer just in the foreground there, and a nice shrubby fuchsia. Following this down, we've got some lovely reducias. They're looking great, and nice sambucus looking good. And then we've got sort of various ferns and peonies. Then we've got this Olearia salandrii, which is quite an interesting New Zealand plant with its beautiful sort of spiky grey leaves. At the bottom of this path we have a Metasequoia glyptostrobodes, the dawn redwood, and it looks great, just punctuating the bottom of the garden. And of course that contrasts with Gunnera manicata, the poor man's umbrella, really into this sort of boggy area, which looks quite fabulous. There you can see there's a rustic sort of hut sticking up on the far end, and there's sort of like a boardwalk and bridges leading to it. And just in front of me is an incredible Fuchsia Arch, and I don't think I've ever seen a Fuchsia Arch. You think of laburnum arches, wisteria arches, but it looks really good. Beautiful fuchsia flowers with the 4 sepals, and they're just like little bells hanging down from the archway. And part of the way down they've even got some clematis mixed into it to add a little bit of purple as well. If we've got the dawn redwood, then you must have a Taxodium distichum, the swamp cypress, as well. And remember, the difference between the two is that the swamp cypress has alternate needles, whereas on the dawn redwood they got opposite. So just watch out for that one. And you can see the slightly spirally bark goes up. So looking across this bog area, we're greeted again with a Trachycarpus. I can see there's lots of meadowsweet, the Filipendula, there's Typha, the reed mace in the background. There's lots of monkey flower, Mimulus, and looks a beautiful area. You can see a massive eucalyptus on the far side, Trachycarpus there with a beautiful sort of silver birch to the left. It's quite dramatic. And just to the left of me looks like a giant Cryptomeria japonica, which looks really good there. Very cut leaf foliage. Just making our way up the path, we've got some beautiful kind of Filipendulas, lovely red Filipendula, pinky red, into some reducias. And then as we look across, you've got some Hellebore orientalis. And then as we make our way through here, we've gone into some lovely ornamental rhubarbs, rheum, and some more Gunnera. Just at the top of the bank here we have these beautiful Blechnums. Just look at the architectural foliage on a Blechnum, really great plant. Here's the Rustic Hut. You can see that they've created some half-lapped sort of diamond-shaped patterns and nailed them onto the background, and then there's a little bit of a sort of a decked area leading to it. The way as we're just coming out is a lovely Fuchsia persica, just showing some early signs of autumn colour. We're just coming out of the walled garden, and I can see there's a good stand of Sassa veitchii, that very sort of filmy like leaf. There's some rhododendron, Sino grande, the very large leafed rhododendron, and up there you can see there's a group of a blue hydrangea, indicating that the soil is quite acidic around here, and so it's quite a nice area as you come out of the walled garden. Looking across, I can see the red bark of a Sequoia sempervirens, very sort of fibrous bark. Well, here we have some Fuchsia japonica variegata, a lovely little group of them, and they're coping really well with the drought. A lot of plants obviously struggling, but because of that big sort of green leaf, they're able to cope with it. They might revert back to green, of course, but certainly doing okay. Just leave that area with a couple of Cryptomeria japonica and some euonymus just in front of it. So at the entrance to the walled garden is a giant Ginkgo Biloba, and the maidenhair tree, and it's a beautiful form there, just arching over the entrance. The Olearia macrodonta, the daisy bush, with those large teeth kind of edging to the leaf. This avenue, I can see we've got two types of Cotinus. You've got the golden spirit type, that lovely golden colour in front of us, and then you've got the Pholus purpureus further along. There's some more Olearia, and there's a big lime tree halfway up.